Ever since I began the Understanding Anti-Brony series, I've been getting requests from people asking me to do a video about my thoughts and reaching out to others who are outside the Brony fandom. I admit that telling others about my status as a Brony was quite difficult for me to do. It took me many months just to even mention that fact to anyone in my own family. So while I had been pondering on this topic, I received a number of messages from JustinKND about his experiences reaching out as a Brony, and his thoughts on this topic were rather intriguing, so I decided to use some of his words for this video as I believe it makes for a good starting point. So I hope you will allow me to read to you some of his thoughts that he sent to me. Something that has always been on my mind is how exactly are Bronies doing when they share that they are Bronies. When my friends at school asked why my shirt had ponies on it, I told them that it was from My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. As I kind of expected, they chuckled and looked at me weirdly. I told them that it was a pretty good show, especially compared to most kid cartoons today. I even showed them some music remixes, and some of them liked it and became Bronies themselves. I thought my situation was normal, but as I searched on the internet, I was appalled to see that some people are bullied and hated for liking the show. I didn't expect that at all. I really didn't think that the boy blue and girl pink stereotype was this extreme. Then when you talked about anti-bronies in your videos and about taking offense, I understood both sides a little bit more. Like I said earlier, if you just express yourself by wearing clothes or gear that are MLP based, then people who are intrigued will ask questions. This is when I feel the urge to at least explain to them what the show is and why I like it. And if they are not intrigued, then I just go about my business. When I realized that non-bronies were antagonizing certain bronies, I felt compelled to understand why. After researching information through talking with the non-bronies at my school who were already informed about MLP, I asked them how they knew about it, and by the way, they didn't know I was a brony yet. They said something like, these hyperactive, annoying guys kept talking about how much they love girly ponies and it sounds so stupid. Two words caught my attention, hyperactive and annoying. I then talked with the non-brony that said what I quoted above and simply asked him if he had ever actually watched the show. He said that he had not, and then I told him something that from now on I tell everyone who hasn't watched the show yet. I say, well, I watched the show and I like it. It was well made for a kid's cartoon. I hope you can tell me what you think of it after you watch, say, 4 to 5 episodes. If you like it, that's awesome. If it's not your cup of tea, that's cool. I don't fanboy over every good show either. If you think it's bad, well, at least you tried to watch it and I respect you. But don't come back to me and tell me that it sucks without watching it. I've made many friends and random classmates at my school into bronies this way, and I hope that other bronies get what I'm saying. There was also this instance where I was on the computer at my school and reading funny pony comics, and this one bulky guy came over and asked me what I was doing. I simply said that I'm reading My Little Pony comics. Then he asked, "Aren't you a man?" I said, "Yeah," chuckling while saying so. He asked me why I'm reading these comics, and I said, because it's entertaining and funny to me. Then he actually came over to read some, with a confused look on his face, and he ended up laughing at a few. Days later, he tells me the show's not bad, and I'm thinking, I didn't even have to talk about the show with this guy. JustinKND brought up some interesting experiences about reaching out as a brony. I particularly liked his methods where he gradually introduces the show to those who are intrigued. When we hear about people who are turned off to MLP without ever having watched the show, we may quickly assume that they are being ignorant, and sometimes that may be the case. But as Justin points out here, there are those who aren't willing to give MLP a chance because they came across bronies that they saw as hyperactive and annoying. Those who wanted to shove the show in other people's faces saying that it is the greatest thing in the world. And in such cases, it is perfectly understandable as to why that sort of behavior might give a bad impression about MLP and the brony fandom. Justin's examples show a far more subtle invitation to others that I think we can learn from, and I hope that you will take that to heart. But I also realize that there are many bronies out there who are completely unwilling to share their hobby with others, who are unsure as to how others would react and thus would prefer to keep their activities a secret. I myself went through that same process for quite a while. So I think that giving some examples from my experience may help others as well. When you are trying to invite your friends or family to take part in MLP, it can be helpful to show them why you enjoy it. But I think it is far more productive when you can think of ways in which they would enjoy it. I'm still in the process of trying to convert my brother to the fandom, and so I try to find videos and artwork that I know that he would enjoy seeing. And slowly he is becoming more willing to take part. When it comes to talking with family or friends who just aren't going to be interested in the show, it can be disheartening when they keep giving you puzzled looks or even try to talk you into doing something else with your time. In such cases, I think it is vital that you help them to understand the positive effects that MLP has had in your life. In my case, I used to spend the majority of my free time watching TV or playing video games or doing some other idle task. But just in the past few months, I have managed to reach out to far more people than I have at any other point in my life. I am spending my free time working on improving my voice acting, my creative writing, and even spreading a little positive influence as well. And my family can both see and understand that change. Even if they aren't going to sit down and watch an episode of MLP with me, I have helped them to notice the positive aspects of being part of the Brony fandom. And that can go a really long way in making you feel more comfortable about being an MLP fan. So, if you are feeling unsure about sharing your hobby with others, or even if you feel a little outcast when your friends or family don't understand the Brony fandom, I hope that you will take a moment and think about how your life has changed for the better. Whether it be a major change that helps you to find more self-confidence, or even if it is just in the small and simple ways. If you feel that you are becoming a better person, then others will notice that as well. If there are any of you out there that have good experiences in sharing the Brony fandom with others, I hope that you will talk about them here, whether by writing your story in the comments section or by creating a response video. There are many others out there who will read and listen to your stories and perhaps gain a little more self-confidence in their own lives. I have always been one who has wanted to create a greater understanding and camaraderie in our fandom, and I would encourage you to take that step. You may be surprised to hear how much it can help others. And for those of you who are looking for words of wisdom, I hope that perhaps you will take these examples to heart. I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.